Hey, everyone. Welcome into the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Fran Charles inside Studio K. This show is all about you, the fans, because you get to ask the questions to today's guest, a Baltimore Orioles pitcher, David Hess. Now, there are two ways to ask a question. Click the green button below and sign up, or sign in for your chance to ask that question live, or you can tweet us using the hashtag Chatting Cage to get your questions in. So let's do it. Let's bring in O's pitcher David Hess into the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. David, thanks for joining us, and congratulations, man. I mean, on getting an opportunity this May, last month here, and 2-2 with an ERA, just over a 3.5. You've had great success. How much fun have you had?
Oh, man. First off, thank you guys for having me. Getting to be on here, it's a lot of fun. Definitely exciting, but yeah, I mean, the past couple weeks have been a lot of fun. I mean, to say the least, it's everything that you could ask for and more.
All right, let's get to it. The fans, they want to know what's going on. So we're going to start out with some Twitter questions on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Dustin wants to know, where were you when you found out you'd be making your MLB debut?
Yeah, so I got called in after the game. So it was directly after a game in Norfolk, and, I got a bunch of congratulations, but it was a pretty quick turnaround. I just had to get my bags packed up and get ready to go, and the next day I was here.
All right, draft is coming up on Monday right here at MLB Network. It's always a great night. And so Jacqueline Flanagan on Twitter, she wants to know, what do you remember on the night the Orioles drafted you?
Yeah, draft day was actually pretty crazy. I had a pretty, calm day. I was just sitting there with my parents, kind of hanging out, watching TV, but also keeping up with the draft through our computers. And so I thought that I was going to get picked at one point. I had a team tell me they were going to, and that kind of didn't pan out. And so I actually had just gotten up to go to the bathroom real quick. And as soon as I got up, I heard my name, and I ran back in the room, and for some reason I didn't have to pee anymore.
That's right. It took care of everything, no doubt. A fan wants to jump in here and get at you. So let's welcome the fan in. The young man, go ahead.
Hey, it's Chris. I just want to know, was baseball always your favorite sport?
Yeah. Baseball was always where, I kind of drifted to more than anything else. But growing up, I played a lot of different sports. I played football, basketball, did track and ran cross country, played soccer. Pretty much you name it, I did it at some point, at least for a little bit.
And David, just a little bit more on that, because now we see this proliferation here of Tommy John injuries, and I've lived all over. I've lived in Florida, in L.A., I live in New Jersey now, but in those warm weather areas, kids play baseball year-round. And most of the major leaguers who I've talked to said they didn't necessarily do that they always played a lot of extra sports. It gave an opportunity to have some downtime with their arm. You being a pitcher, I would assume that's helped you out a little bit as well, just your body getting used to different physical movements.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think, that's something that seeing a lot of the travel ball movement right now, I think that it's important to kind of keep balance with everything. I think just being able to go out and play different sports, whether it's competitively or just for fun, whatever it may be, I think that there's definitely something to be said about that, kind of just being athletic and going out there and having fun and just exposing yourself to different things. I think that in the long run, having that rest and that experience in different areas goes a long way.
All right, you're watching the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, and we're with Orioles pitcher David Hess. And, all right, Alyssa Turner, she wants to get to your Golden Eagles here. Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, they're squaring off in the NCAA College World Series today. How excited are you to check that out? You going to get an opportunity to check them out today?
Yeah. It looks like I think they're on Central Time, so they're going to be going here before too long. And so I'm going to try and keep up with them as best I can today. They've had an incredible year. I think they won at one point. It was like 30 or 35 straight games, something ridiculous like that. And so, I'm really proud of those guys. And I know some of them from just kind of being in and out, and the coaching staff is still there from when I was there. And so I can't even say how proud I am of those guys, and wishing them the best of luck today and throughout the rest of the tournament.
And if for some reason baseball didn't work out for you, you were going to be okay. Steven wants to know, at Tennessee Tech, you majored in biomolecular chemical engineering. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
How'd you choose that major?
So actually, when I was looking around, I really wanted to do some type of biomedical engineering. And so, whether it was just going into the medical field, or I always thought about kind of designing prosthetics, or doing something along those lines to help people out in the medical industry. And so when I committed to Tennessee Tech, they didn't have the biomedical engineering, and that was the closest thing. And yeah, it took me like a semester just to be able to say it the right way. But don't let it fool you. I promise you, I'm not as smart as it makes me seem.
No. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that for a second. We got another fan who wants to ask you a question. So let's welcome in this young man. Go ahead, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to Mr. David Hess. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am doing great. This is such a wonderful honor, and it's great to hear from you, too. And my question, you are playing for a wonderful manager, Mr. Buck Showalter, 3-time Manager of the Year. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want to know is that do you see yourself being the first Orioles pitcher since Steve Stone of 1980 to win a Cy Young Award?
Ooh. I think that's a little bit of a tall task. There's some great guys out there, and so who knows? Crazier things have happened, I guess. But I'm just going out there and doing everything I can to give the team a chance to win, and setting those guys up as best I can for success, because they do that for me every day.
David, you play for a great manager, and also you've got a fantastic shortstop. What's it like to watch Manny Machado go to work every day?
Oh, my gosh. You can't say enough about him. Just seeing some of the stuff that he does and makes it look so routine, it's incredible. He's a guy that is just so fun to have behind you, because you know that if a play can be made on a ball, then he's going to make it. And if it's not made, then it probably isn't going to be made by probably anybody else. The things he does on an everyday basis are just incredible.
All right, time now for the Edward Jones question of the day here, the EDJ question of the day. Who's inspired you the most throughout your baseball journey?
Oh, man. That's a little bit of a loaded question. I think there's been a lot of people who have helped me a lot along the way. My dad, I can't say enough about, all the time and effort that he put in with me growing up. We kind of created a reputation in my hometown of Tullahoma, a little small town in Tennessee, but people always said that they were surprised if they went by the baseball field and we weren't there. And so a lot of credit goes to my dad for pushing me and helping me get to where I am, and all of my family for that matter. But then, especially one of my Little League coaches. He actually was the one that taught me how to pitch initially and took the time out extra after every practice. And anytime I wanted to sit down and work with him, he was willing to. And his name was Coach Edie. He's a guy that, definitely will not slip through the cracks, and I can't say enough about how thankful I am for him.
Awesome that you recognize the whole village that helped you get to where you are. We have another fan who wants to chime in here as we talk to David Hess on the Edward Jones chatting case. Go ahead, sir.
David, what up, big dog? My question for you is, who is the jokester in the clubhouse? Class clown.
I feel like there's a lot of them. We have a pretty loose clubhouse. I know CD, Chris Davis, he likes to run around and joke around a little bit, and he has a good time, as does everybody else. But I don't know if I could narrow it down to one particular person. I think just as a clubhouse as a whole, we like to give each other a little bit of a hard time, and it keeps it loose and it keeps it fun.
All right, Melissa wants to know, you're known to enjoy Firehouse subs. Who can eat more, you or Trey Mancini?
I think it depends on the day. I think it depends who's hungrier on that day, but I think we have a pretty close competition.
All right, then a Ravens fan who obviously doubles off as a Orioles fan as well. We got Ravens fan 13. You're a big fan of the show The Office. What character would you say best describes you?
I really like Jim Halpert. He's the guy I think that I guess I could kind of relate with the most in a sense, but I think that everybody, looks at it, and he's kind of, I would say, the most normal guy, I guess, on there. So I guess I'm kind of normal in that sense. But, that show's great. I've watched that, I feel like, probably 20 or 30 times through.
Yeah, no, big fan of The Office myself. Connor Kinkery wants to know, getting back to baseball here, hey, what have you learned from the other starters in the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, just watching those guys go about their business every day, kind of seeing how they do things in between their start days and the work that they put in there to get to being on the mound and having the success that they've had. I think that goes a long way. And I've worked with Gossman. He throws a split, and so I throw that as well. We've worked together a lot on that. And then just kind of picking the brains of the other guys, just kind of seeing, like I said, how they go about their business, what their thought process is, and how they like to set guys up and what their game plan is. And so I think that even though it's a short time period here, I think I've learned a lot just from being able to sit and talk to them and just observe what they do.
We have another David Hess fan who wants to jump in. So, young man, go ahead.
Hey, David, my name's Dan, and my question for you is, what's the coolest thing that you've gotten to do in Baltimore so far?
Ooh, as simple as it sounds, I think just getting to walk around the ballpark and just the city around it and kind of seeing just the surrounding area. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. My wife and I, she's here with me, and so we've gotten to go check out some cool little restaurants and cafes, and so that's been a lot of fun getting to enjoy that with her and just see the city as a whole. I think there's a lot that it has to offer, and I think getting to dive into that's been a lot of fun.
David, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. The best of luck to you the rest of the way. You're off to a tremendous start.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, that is David Hess, a brand new starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. And thank you, fans, for joining us and making this show go. And we're going to have more shows all season long, so check back here for the next edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Fran Charles. We'll check you out next time.